Today I'm going to focus on how to clear decimals. If you have a bunch of decimals in your equation, yes, you can add, subtract, multiply, and divide decimals, but sometimes it can be tedious. So I'm going to show you how to clear the decimals, and then all you have are whole numbers to work with. So we're going to use powers of 10. So let me show you how to do that. Okay, you can copy these examples. Negative 1.7k plus 6.7k equals 13.1. Now, you can add your k's together, but then you're going to have to divide decimals, and dividing decimals can be a lot of work. So let me show you how to clear decimals. To clear decimals, similar to clearing fractions, you're going to have to multiply the entire equation by a multiple of 10 that is your largest decimal place. So let me explain what that means. However many decimal places is your largest number, tenths, hundredths, thousandths, you're going to have to multiply that whole equation by a power of 10 to essentially move the decimal over. So when we look, we have tenths, tenths, and tenths. So to start off with, we need to multiply everything by the first power of 10, 10 to the first, and what that's going to do is it's going to move the decimal place over. Every number is going to move over one time, regardless if it has a variable. Every term in the equation is going to be multiplied by 10. And when you multiply something by 10, you move the decimal over one place. So instead of it being negative 1.7, we're going to move the decimal over, and it's going to be negative 17k plus 67k equals 131. So because I multiplied it by 10, you just move the decimal over. Now I have whole numbers, I have integers, so I can combine like terms. Negative 17 and positive 67 is going to be 50k. And that's going to equal 131. That marker is dying. I need to divide both sides by 50. And then k is going to be 131 over 50. Now, that's a fraction, but we started in decimals, so we kind of need our answer to be back as a decimal. So in order to convert this, we already know how to convert fractions to decimals. But this one is nice because we can make a denominator of 100. So I did times 2. Oops. And if I multiply the top times 2, I'm going to get 262 hundredths. 262 hundredths. So that is going to be 2 wholes and 62 hundredths. Because 100 can go into 262, it can go into it 2 times, and then we have 62 out of 100 left, so it would be 2 and 62 hundredths. Now again, we want our answer to be a decimal because our problem had decimals. So let me show you how to do example B. In example B, we're going to multiply. I have a tenth here. This is a whole number, no decimal. Tenth here and a whole number. So I have tenths places. So I need to multiply by the power of 1, 10 to the first power, and I can move my decimal over 1 in here. But when I have whole numbers, I also have to move it over 1, and you're going to have to add a 0. So don't forget, if you have a whole number, you still are going to have to change that value. Now I can rewrite my equation without decimals. I have 83 minus 80y equals 12y plus 60. I have variables on both sides, so I have to move my variable over. I can't just combine them. So I'm going to have to subtract 12y to combine my variables. So 83 minus 92y equals 60. If you're not sure how I got that, then go back and watch Solving Equations with Variables on Both Sides. Now I need to move my 83 over, so I'm going to subtract 83 because that is a positive 83. Remember, if you touch twice here, that would be a positive 83. Negative 92y equals negative 23. And then I need to divide by negative 92. And we see that, first of all, I have a negative and a negative. So my answer is going to be a positive. And then I know already, I know this because I have, I guess, done math a long time. I know that if you divide 92 into 23, you would get 25. So this, or you could reduce, you could divide the top and the bottom by 23. But I know that it's going to be a positive 25 hundredths. And if you need help on this, then we can practice dividing decimals, but we've already done that. So that's why I skipped this. I didn't want to use the time in a video. So 25 hundredths. All right, you try C. Copy it down. You try C. All right, so you have to multiply by the biggest power of 10, and in this problem, we have tenths, and we have hundredths, and we have tenths. So in this problem, we need to multiply by 100. To multiply by 100, it's going to change that decimal twice, but it's also going to do all of your decimals twice. So you're going to have to add a 0. 1.2, so it's going to be 120n minus 24 equals 70n. All right, so I hope you got that one. There's a glare. I'm trying to get rid of the glare. I don't know how to get rid of the glare. Now, I have an equation with variables on both sides. Variable, variable, and the equals is in the middle. I can move this one over here, and then I would have 0, but I'm going to move it the other way. It doesn't matter if you move your variables to the left or right. You should get the same answer if you did it correctly. So I'm going to subtract 120n from both sides. Negative 24 equals 70 minus 120 is going to be a negative 50n. Because 70 minus 120 would be a negative 50. Then I can divide by negative 50. And again, I have two positives. I have two negatives, which are going to be a positive. And then I see that I have a denominator of 50. Well, I want a denominator of 100 because I have to write my answer as a decimal. So I'm going to times it by 2, 48. So my answer would be 48 hundredths. 48 hundredths. Again, you multiplied by the power of 10 to clear your decimals. You solved it like a normal solving equations with variables on both sides, and at the very end, we converted our fraction back to a decimal. So we'll practice more of this later.